and welcome to episode 22 of the These Little Hands podcast. Today is the 25th of June and I'm coming to you from Johannesburg, South Africa, where I live and work. This is a podcast about knitting, sometimes some sewing, and sometimes other crafts, but today we are just talking about knitting. Welcome back to all the returning viewers, and if you are new, thank you so much for checking out my podcast. Today I have quite a few things to show you. So I have 4 finished objects, which is very exciting and I can't wait to share them with you. It is a little bit of a cheat. Well, it's not a cheat, it's finished objects, but some of them have been languishing for a long time and were pretty close to being done. So I have knit 4 new things and I have 2 works in progress and some mail to share with you. So I don't think today is going to be a very long episode, but let's get into what I finished. So the first thing I want to show you is this sweater that I'm wearing. So I started this last year in November, and it's been in languishing for quite some time. So I basically only had this much of one sleeve left to knit. So after all my plans that I shared on the previous episode, I decided before I cast that on, I should finish some of my old works in progress. So I'm very excited to share with you that this is finished. This is the crisp sweater. I think the designer is Gemma Atkinson, but let me just confirm that. I forgot for a moment. Yes, Gemma Atkinson. This is the sweater. It is from the Rowan magazine number 58, and I knit it out of Rowan Cocoon, which is the suggested yarn, just in a different colorway. The colorways are numbered, so I'm not sure what the name is, but you can follow all of that on my project page on Ravelry. And I entered this into the West Coast Wool sweater along for this year. So this is my second finished sweater for the year, which is great. When I spoke to you about the sweater, I'm not sure on what episode, I said it was a slow knit. And I don't know, maybe I just wasn't into knitting it at the time because I finished this very quickly. The needle size is quite large, the yarn is quite thick, so it actually went pretty quickly. So I'm just quickly going to show you. I'm not wearing it with the right clothes today, but it has sort of a moss stitch pattern at the bottom. The front and the back are knit exactly the same, so there's no difference. So, and it doesn't bother me. Sometimes you feel like it's too tight around the neck, but it's pretty comfortable. I love this yarn. It's so soft. It is a wool and mohair blend. The Rowan Cocoon yarn, I've spoken about it before, is probably one of my favorite yarns to knit with. It does have a little bit of shedding. So if I wear it with black, then it's a bit of a problem, but I've worn it quite a few times. It's very, very warm. One thing I will say, what I did with this one, that I didn't do with the first sweater that I knit out of this yarn. The first sweater I knit, the information is on Ravelry, I can't remember, but it grew a lot. So much so that it is way too big for me now. So I went down a full needle size of what the pattern suggested when I knit this, and it was pretty tight when I put it on just after I finished it. But it happened what I thought was going to happen, so it did grow, not a lot, but it grew the perfect amount, so now it is the perfect size. So that is one thing that I would say about this yarn. It is a single ply, which is part of the reason, I think. So a single ply doesn't have a twist, so it pulls apart quite easily. It's quite, it didn't bother me while I was knitting it. It didn't break on me once, but when I sewed the ends together and I pulled it too tight, it did break. So I had to be quite careful sewing it together. And you can also see it does bias a little bit. It looks pretty good after it's been blocked, but if you leave it, it does turn a little bit, and that is just the nature of single ply yarn. So yes, I really, really like it, and this is my first finished object. So the second one, this is what I mean by saying it's a cheat. You've seen this project before. It's a long time ago. But this is the Windy Scarf pattern. It is the pattern on the front cover of this book. And it is by Martin Story, if I remember correctly. Martin Story is one of my favorite designers. You would know that if you've watched this podcast before. He designs a lot for Rowan. So this scarf is so beautiful. Yes, it is Martin Story. The scarf is so beautiful and I love it. I love it still that it is so long. But I don't enjoy knitting scarves. I don't know why. I just don't enjoy knitting such a long piece. It feels like it takes forever. So I took it out of the bag, looked at how long it was and decided to cast off and sew it together at the back and turn it into a cowl. So, and it's really lovely. I still love it. I would have loved to have the scarf, but I know I'm not going to finish it. And I would rather finish it and wear it than not have it at all. So I literally just took it out of the bag and cast it off and sew it together. So I'm very happy to have this done. I've already worn it quite a few times. It's very soft. This is the Rowan Pure Wool Superwash worsted yarn. I might have the name wrong, but it's something like that, in the moonstone and granite colorway. So it's the same colorways as the one they used on the picture. And this is my second finished object. So yes, then I have, on my previous podcast, I showed you my pom-poms, and I also said that it was my sister's birthday and I wanted to knit her something. And I didn't have time. So her birthday was the following day after my previous podcast. And after I recorded the podcast, I decided, no, she needs a knitted gift. So I cast on for the Eerie hat. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's a 1x1 rib. And I put on a pom-pom. So I can't really put it on because my hair is in a bun today. But this is the Nurturing Fibers Super Twist DK in the Brambles colorway. I used almost 250 gram skeins and I knit this on 4.5 millimeter circular needles. So my sister really loves it, and I had a hard time parting for my beautiful pom-pom, but for my sister I feel like it's worth it. So this is a great free pattern on Ravelry. It knit up very quickly. I started it in the evening. I finished it the morning in time for her birthday. Yes. So I like the way it sort of twists when you do the decreases. You can see that at the top. And this color is really beautiful. So this is my fourth finished object. I'm sorry, my third finished object. Yes, so I'm very happy with that. 1, 2, 3. And then the fourth one I did share on Instagram, but I'm quickly going to take off the sweater and put on my fourth finished object, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I'm back, and this is my fourth finished object. And a lot of you might recognize this pattern, but this is the Exploration Station shawl pattern by Stephen West. And I actually cast this on at the same time that I cast on my boho blush shawl, and then I wanted to finish my boho blush, so I put this down. But it is finished and it is quite large, as you can see. The colors are showing up a little bit more blown out than they are. It's winter's day here in South Africa, but it's very sunny. So the sun is really blowing out all the colors. But this yarn is knit entirely out of, this shawl is knit entirely out of gift yarn. And I knit this for the Keep Knitting Kitten cowl, hosted by the Stringing It Together podcast. And I forgot now what her name is. But yes, the yarns I've used is all gift yarn, as I said. 3 of them are from overseas, from the same friend. So this color A, the dark pink color, is a gift that I got from Carla Denning. She is the owner of Nurturing Fibers, and she gave me this skein of yarn last year when I was at Hobby X in Cape Town. This is the Shiraz colorway in the Nurturing Fibers Super Twist 100% merino sock base. Then color B is my Hedgehog Fibers Film Noir colorway in the sock yarn base. I used most of this skein in my oyster shawl that I knit last year, but I had a little bit left and I wanted to use all of it. So there it is, and then here it is again in this wedge. No, not that one, this one. And then here for the brioche section, you were supposed to use it for the light color, but I was scared I wasn't going to have enough. So I just used, let me just see where it is. I just used a neutral color of the Nurturing Fibers for that piece, because I still had to use the Hedgehog Fibers in this section. So I was able to use up all my Hedgehog Fibers. So there's nothing left of that skein. Then this color here is my Knit Lobs layer yarn that I also got from a friend. The same friend, he bought the Hedgehog Fibers and this skein at the same time. So this is the birch colorway, and this is their, I think it's a 80%, 80-20 merino nylon yarn, and this is what I have left. So I used it in that wedge, this wedge, and then this section, and in the last this section. And then the third color is my Greta and the Fibers colorway from the same friend from a different trip he did overseas. He got this in Spain. The Hedgehog Fibers and the Knit Lobs layer he got in Helsinki. And this is the Poppy colorway. And I have quite a bit left of this. And yes, I was actually, while I was knitting it, I thought, oh man, this is not really my, I'm not going to wear it. This is not really my taste. I'm not sure. But I actually really, really like it. And I'm happy that I knit one of his patterns. And it's so drapey. I blocked it out quite a bit. So I didn't use my wires. I used the blocking pins to get these edges nice. And I'm really happy with it. So yes, that is my 4th finished object. So I've been quite busy, but all of these projects, except for the hat, were over halfway. So I just basically finished all of that. Okay, so let's talk about works in progress. So last time I shared all my new plans with you, and I was very close to casting on everything. But I decided to finish my projects, and as you can see, I've really put a lot of work into that. And the other project that I really put a lot of work in after I finished this one is my Greenwich sweater. So I finished the front and the back. This is the front, and this is the back. The back is longer than the front. The color is sage green. It's not really showing up. I'll see if I can fix it in editing. And I'm about 1/3 away on the sleeves. So this is knit out of Cowgirl Blues in the sage colorway in her DK base. And I'm knitting the sleeves 2 at a time with alternating skein. So that is a bit difficult to show you because there's 4 balls of yarn all twisted together, but I'm about 1/3 of the way in, and I'm hoping to finish that pretty soon. I'm quite determined to finish it before I cast on anything else, but we'll see if that happens. The other work in progress that I have is my starting point shawl. So after I showed it to you last time, I haven't even taken it out of the bag because that is when I decided to finish my projects. So I lost a bit of steam on that. I'm on clue 3 out of 5, and all the clues have come out and everybody has shown their finished object, so I know what it looks like. But that's fine, I don't mind. It was my first mystery knit along, and I must say I did enjoy it. I think it would be better for me if to do a mystery knit along if I didn't have other projects on the needles, which I don't know if that's possible. So that is still on the needles and this is still on the needles. So yeah, that's pretty good for me because since I can remember, I've had more than 5 projects on the needle. So there's 2, and then I did cast on 1 new thing, which is pretty good because I think I wanted to cast on 5 new things. So we'll see. I'm hoping to finish the Greenwich sweater before I cast on anything else, and then to finish the starting point after I finish that one. But let me show you. I spoke about this last time, but I have made my yarn choices. So I casted on my Watkins sweater. This is this sweater by Quince & Company. It's a paid for pattern designed by Whitney Hayward. The yarn I'm using is, now I hope I have a label, yes. This is, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but melange wool, Kartopu. Something I would like to say about this yarn is it is 80% acrylic and 20% wool, and I know there's a lot of people out there that don't knit with acrylic, but I also know that pure wool is quite expensive if you're not an experienced knitter, and it can put people off from knitting a sweater. So of all the yarns I've knit with, I'm also a little bit of a yarn snob, so I won't really knit with 100% acrylic yarn. I have done, but I'm very specific. I don't like it if you can see the shininess of the acrylic. But this yarn is really, really soft, and it doesn't have the shine to it. It's loosely twisted, which means it does give a bit of an uneven effect. So if you're still practicing your tension, it's great. So I think this is great value for money because it's really inexpensive. It's a big ball of yarn. So I would definitely recommend this yarn for somebody who wants to knit a sweater and don't want to invest a lot of money to do so. So the colors I have ended up with is the neutral, this salmon pink, this is a little bit more khaki green than it's shown up, and a red, which I don't have with me at the moment because I haven't started with that color yet. So this yarn is a little bit thinner than what is called for in the pattern. The pattern calls for Quince & Company, which I am unable to find here in South Africa. So I went down a full needle size on the pattern, and this is where I am. So you knit it in the round, which is the first time I'm knitting a sweater in the round. And it's also my first proper time doing color work. And it is going to be my first time that you stick it open in the front. So I'm really enjoying it and it's going pretty well. I did rip out this part because my tension was not right, and I did a little bit of research on color work, and I came across a few videos talking about yarn dominance, showing you how to keep your floats neat and also where to keep it so that the contrasting color, which in my case is this green, pops and not the pink. And that is what I've been doing, and that made a big difference. So it's a tubular cast on, which is also the first time for me. It's not very, very neat, but I'm hoping it will block out. So you use a smaller needle for this part, and then for the plain stockinette side, you use one size, and for the color work you use a different size. I haven't measured my gauge yet, and I haven't knit a gauge swatch. A small little secret, which is something you shouldn't do. I never knitted a gauge swatch. that's not very good knitting education. So don't do that because it can go wrong. But I didn't knit a gauge watch. I also haven't measured my tension, but I will do that today. So yes, this is knitting up very quickly because it's big needles and it's not a very difficult pattern. So I'm pretty happy with it. I am really enjoying it. I haven't worked on it. Look at that. That is the problem with commercial yarn. There's a knot in my yarn. But anyway, it is not a very expensive yarn, so I didn't expect too much. But it's really, really soft. I think it's going to be very cozy. And I have my stitch markers in the middle where I'm going to work my steek. Where's that now? Here. So there. This is where you can see it's a little bit uneven here. This is where you're going to cut it open for the steek. So yes, I'm very happy and excited about this. I think it's going pretty well. Oh, one of the videos I watched for color work is I watched the podcast Candy Knits, and that was really very helpful. And I think my tension is looking pretty good. You can see there. But that was really helpful. I did, as I say, I did re-knit it a bit to just get the tension right. And you can see, especially on these bottom ones, the top part of the cross is not really sticking out that much. Some of them are pretty good, but others are a little bit more difficult. But yes, very excited about this. This is knitting up very quickly. I still have a long way to go. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping to get some work done on this today. And yes, so this is my 2 works in progress that I've been working on. The only other one is my starting point shawl, but it's exactly where you saw it the last time. Yes, I think that is all I have to show you in terms of whips. One thing I do want to share is I have this sweater. It's called Mod. I can't remember who the designer is. It's also from one of my Rowan patterns. I love the sweater. It's knit out of cotton. I wear it a lot, but cotton grows a lot. And also it was a little bit big already when I knit it. So the sleeves were way too long and it was bunched up and I had to fold it up and then it was quite chunky. So what I did is with scissors, I cut it off here. And then I took my overlocker, my sewing machine, and I overlocked the sleeve back in. And I overlocked the sides a little bit down as well because it was quite big. And now it is the perfect size. So it is possible to fish your knitting with the overlocker. If you have knitwear in your cupboard that you feel isn't the right size. On the one side, I just saw when I wanted to wash it, I missed the stitch there. Can you see? Sticking out. So I'm just quickly going to catch it, make sure I catch that with my overlocker completely there. But otherwise, it is quite perfect, and I'm happy that I can, because I haven't worn it for quite some time because it is so big. So I'm happy that I can now wear it again. So I wanted to share that with you. And then the last thing I have to share is my yarn mail. So today is not a very long episode and there's no sewing. I'm hoping to do some sewing today. I always say that, but sewing is a bit, I don't have a sewing room. So I use my dining room table, and if I have people over and so on, then I have to pack everything away. And with sewing, you sort of don't want to pack it away and pick it back up. So I need a big chunk of time so that I can start and finish the project. It's not the same with knitting. You can just pack it away and, continue again. So I haven't had any time for that, but I have a pattern for a black coat because I need a black coat for the winter and I can't find one that I like in the shops. So I got the fabric and the pattern and I am hoping to sew that up today, but I am really enjoying my knitting, so we'll see if it happens. But I got two mails, two packages. So the first one is my third and second to last socks box from Be Inspired. This time we received a little postcard with a lovely letter, a scrappy sock pattern, and then these lovely the 20-gram mini skeins. So this is 100 grams of yarn by Yarn Snob. It's 100% merino, and look how pretty they are. So it's this light pink one, and then this one, darker pink. This purple one I really like because there's like neutral areas in there. And then this green, and then this turquoise one. I think these are my favorite. I think I say that every time, but I do think these are my favorite ones. And I'm very happy because last week I showed you my grey yarn that I'm going to knit the Glacier Sweep shawl from Stephen West out of. And there's an edging in a contrasting color around it. And I think I'm going to use this color for that edging. So that's very exciting. And then also I received a Progress Keeper and a Be Inspired little tag. I want to sew up some new project tags, so then I'm going to put this up on that. So lovely. I feel like there was something else in here that I took out. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, I really love it. And these are so pretty. I have a lot of minis. I'm starting to think I'm going to knit a scrappy blanket, but I still find things to use my minis for, like this. I used in this project now. My hedgehog fibers, I finished using it, so not completely ready yet to part with my minis for a scrappy blanket or something like that, because I do like to use them in small projects. I also want to make a color work hat at some stage with one of my lovely pom-poms, so then I'm going to use those minis for that as well. So that was the one thing. And then I took part in a swap that I spoke about last time, the Stay Cozy Winter South African swap. And the yarn I received, I showed you the pattern last time, it was the Fleece and Sea hat. But I received a lovely little tin. I love these tins with very nice stitch markers in there, which is great. I really like these loops that is on these stitch markers. I actually think I'm going to change my Watkins stitch markers for these ones. And then I received this lovely Katya yarn, pure merino wool, in this lovely purple color for the Fleece and Seas hat. So, and there was very nice coffee in here that I already used. So lovely, lovely swap, and I really enjoyed participating in that. And that, I think, is all I have to show you today. So it's a really short episode, but I just wanted to pop in and show you all my things. And as I said, I'm hoping to record every 2 weeks, so I don't want to break that schedule. And I hope you have a very lovely weekend and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye!